Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out tonight to our regular called meeting this November 10th, 2015. I declare that we do have a quorum and the media has been notified. This time, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved to approve the agenda. It's been seconded. Do we have any discussion? Then at this time, all of those in favor of this motion, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Those who do not approve, same sign. Then the motion is approved 8-0. This time, please stand with us and join us in the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to agenda item number 4. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting of October 27th, 2015?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes for the regular meeting on October 27th, 2015.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of our regular meeting October 27th, 2015. It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? At this time, then, we'll entertain a vote. All of those in favor of this motion, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Then those minutes are approved. We do have minutes for the November the 4th meeting, special meeting that we had. Do we need to approve those? Or
Mr. Chairman, since it's not listed on the agenda, can we table those until our next meeting?
Yes, okay. All right, this time, moving on to agenda item number 5, approval of the October 2015 Head Start Budget Expenditures Report, the October 2015 Head Start Credit Card Report, refunding Head Start grant application, agency-wide supervision plan, and the prospective new hires. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the October 2015 Head Start information as presented in Agenda Item 5.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the information as in agenda item 5. It's been seconded. Do we have any discussion?
I do have one question.
Okay.
We got an email with the updated paperwork, the grant paperwork, and the budget. The 1.7 million, that was, that part I wasn't quite sure of where that money was coming from.
You're addressing the non-federal.
Yes, the
Okay.
non-federal column where it says
So-
$1,769,028.
Okay. I'd ask Dr. Whitley if she could address that question.
Absolutely. That's the in-kind, the services that the district is providing to Head Start.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Any other discussion? All right, then it has been, a motion has been made to accept the information in agenda item 5 as is. It's been seconded. All of those in favor of this motion, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Those against it, same vote. And that motion is approved 8-0. This time we move on to the citizens' comments. In order to conduct the meeting in an orderly and efficient manner, we ask that you honor the following guidelines. Stakeholder comments are welcomed and encouraged. However, the board will not take immediate action on public comments at this meeting. Any person wishing to address the board must register prior to the meeting. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures. Comments regarding complaints against employees other than district-level executives or references to students other than the child of the speaker will not be heard in public session. Groups suggesting the same topic should select one speaker, and to maximize participation, the board limits each person to 3 minutes, and a total of 30 minutes has been set aside. The board chair reserves the right to allot additional time or to halt public comments that do not adhere to these guidelines. This time, tonight we have one speaker, Mr. Raymond Brown, who wants to talk about distributed practice and management suggestions. Mr. Brown.
I know I complain each week about my voice. Maybe it'll be a little better tonight. I first of all want to congratulate the Berkeley County School District on this article I read this past week or so about how you had done, or how the students had done on various standardized tests. I believe, as I recall, that Berkeley County was the top school district in South Carolina, and also was above the national average on the 4 school districts. One of my great concerns, and I'm sure it's yours too, is that America ranks last place, tied with 2 other countries, in education in the world. Now, considering our history, our wealth, and our past, that is, really pathetic. And what I would like to see in the Berkeley County School District is it being a role model for coming out of that kind of situation. Using distributed practice and distributed instruction, I think that's a real possibility for initially South Carolina. When students can learn up to 9 times as much, and they never seem to fail when distributed practice is used, then I think it's an expectation that this could be a real changer for the state of South Carolina and eventually for America. One of the nice things about it is that this can be done without spending hardly any money. What we're talking about here is a cost, including printing of a bunch of worksheets, of like $8 a student. When I was in the Chapter 1 program a few years ago down in Charleston County, it was costing $600 a student. And this distributed practice program is like 3 times as effective. And today, by the same standards, it would probably cost $1,000 a student to have a similar Chapter 1 program with the little computerized classrooms. Where can the Berkeley County School District students be in, say, 2 or 3 years? Basing it on just my experience with math, I would say that in 2 or 3 years, all those students down in the bottom quartile, or the vast majority of them, would be up close to grade level. Students that are at grade level now would be like at the 80th or maybe even 90th percentile, and qualifying pretty soon for scholarships to, to college. And also, I'm sure that it would mean that I was distracted, and I'm sorry I lost my train of thought. It would mean that there would be far fewer dropouts. I see my time is up, and I have some class management suggestions that I'm going to give out to several people. I don't have one for everybody tonight, but to Ms. Blackburn, and Mr. Hayes, and Dr. Gorman, and who else?
Thank you.
Thank you for your attention, and I hope that you will consider the things that I have said this evening. Oh, one other thought. I'd love to see those class management suggestions with a little modification be given out to your teachers in Berkeley County. It's just with those, and they're applying those, you're talking about maybe doubling students learning this year. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 7, Administration and Facilities. Mr. Jackson.
Good evening, Chairman Hayes, Superintendent Blackburn, members of the board. This time I'd like to invite Mr. Tim Knight, our Safety and Security Officer, to present our Safety and Security update, to be followed by the quarterly construction update with Ms. Connie Myers.
Good evening, Chairman Hayes, Superintendent Blackburn, and members of the board. As you know, the safety of our students and employees is our #1 priority. So tonight I'd like to bring to your attention our safety updates for the 2015-2016 school year. Over the last few years, we have added over 1,800 surveillance cameras to our schools. These cameras have been a crucial part in the physical security features in place at our schools. This year, we have plans to replace the remaining analog cameras and install approximately 1,000 state-of-the-art Internet Protocol cameras with crystal clear imaging very similar to HD TV. The installation of our access control system is getting very close to 100% completion. Stratford High and Marrington Middle are ongoing as the new construction at those schools continue to take place, with Goose Creek and Berkeley High Schools rounding out the list waiting to be completed. We were able to add one new school resource officer for this year, which went to Goose Creek High, where we now have 2 full-time officers for support. Currently, 6 of our law enforcement partners in the county provide the district with a total of 22 school resource officers. We also implemented a school safety committee crisis response team at every school. These teams, consisting of the school's safety liaison assistant principal, nurse, a school counselor, teachers certified in CPR and first aid, and the head custodian and cafeteria workers, meet twice a year to discuss safety goals and injury prevention techniques. These teams are tasked with investigating workers' compensation accidents and continued efforts for prevention, creating lists of light-duty jobs for injured employees, and respond to and assist with different types of crises. As you are aware, in the summer of 2014, we started a training curriculum for all of our school resource officers, with the intention of bringing them together for a few days of intense training and instruction. This past July, we were able to host our 2nd annual Berkeley County School Resource Officer Summer Training. This training was held at Berkeley High School with approximately 30 law enforcement officers and district social workers in attendance. We were able to utilize a few of our school nurses to provide CPR and first aid certification to all of the attendees. In addition, we had the Charleston County Sheriff's Office Bomb Squad provide training on bomb threats and explosives, presentations by the Kennedy Center, and our own Special Services Department. Our school resource officers were able to have hands-on training in the areas of de-escalation techniques and defensive tactics. Our SROs participated in about 10 hours of intense active shooter training. We take a lot of pride in the relationships we have with our county's law enforcement partners. We have not only been working with our local and state law enforcement partners to develop training courses, but we have also been in close contact with federal law enforcement. In February, the FBI will be in the district to provide a full day of training for our administrators and teachers during the district's instructional fair and staff development day. Beginning next month, we will initiate what we are calling injury prevention and self-defense training for our administrators. This training will be taught by H2H Training Solutions. The great thing about all of this training is it's all free. These are just a few examples of how the district is working hard to give our administrators and teachers, who, as you know, work very hard, different tools they can use to be successful in dealing with different types of emergency situations, all while remaining safe. The district conducts at least 2 large-scale crisis simulations every school year. These exercises give us the opportunity to activate our emergency procedures we have in place so we can critique and evaluate those procedures to make sure they are effective and efficient in real-life emergency situations. Last week, Hanahan High hosted the active shooter simulation, and we are already working on the date and location of our spring crisis simulation. I could give many examples of training in action, but last month when we faced what many called the 1,000-year flood, our district went to work and we got results. We were able to open 4 school shelters, one of which being Timberland High, which is not even a designated shelter location. But when the county and state predicted that the residents of Jamestown could be greatly affected by the rising Santee River, we wanted to give those citizens a safe place to come to. Timberland High was open and staffed in less than 2 hours. All district departments remained in constant communication with each other, and we remained in contact with the Red Cross and our county emergency management partners. At the end of the day, all involved, including maintenance and technology departments, school staff, and administrators, worked tirelessly to ensure our emergency procedures and plans were executed with great precision. This will be our second year utilizing Safe Schools online training for all district employees. This training is web-based and very user-friendly. It allows the trainee to complete the training at their leisure, but within designated deadlines. This training provides the ability to track and accurately record training progress. As you can see, along with our annual assurances, employees will take a variety of safety and risk management courses. And now, a short video detailing the hard work the district has done in the areas of safety and security.
One of the challenges of opening a new school, of course, is being proactive with our security and safety. It was very helpful for me when technology and our security department at the school district came out and trained us with the IP camera system as well as the management system. It was also helpful to have the relationship with the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office, who also came out and helped us with our first intruder drills. They gave us very effective feedback to improve our school and improve our measures.
Ames, I get to serve as a principal and a parent. And I can tell you, in both of those roles, I have been thrilled with the improvements we've made in just my last 5 years here at the school. We've gone from a system where we basically had a wide open campus to to a completely secure facility at all times. Now here at Ames, thanks to the improvements in the security and safety department, we have a buzz-to-enter system where parents have to be buzzed in, which gives our school a sense of being in an administrative lockdown at all times. It means that we let the people in that we have school business here, and we get to keep the people who shouldn't be on our campus away from the children and keep the children safe.
I guess being one of the more veteran principals in the district, I've seen the evolution of kind of what's happened with school security. Starting from a time when we didn't lock doors, didn't have ID badges, didn't even have cameras in schools, to now where we obviously place a very high premium on making sure that our students are safe. It's been a lot of change, but it's all been for the good of schools and students, and a lot of resources, a lot of money put into it, but it's money well spent.
And it's very important for us to be proactive when we're looking at how to protect our students and how that we can make our schools and our school climate more safe. And so we are pushing our communication with our students and teaching them that it is okay to let us know in the event that they know that anything is taking place that it may not be, they're not sure about, or may seem unsafe. And so what we've done here is build relationships with our students.
My favorite thing about school is knowing that I'm safe and have wonderful teachers and other people that I can trust.
Even when we deal with other things in the media, or if you go into a lockdown simulation or a situation, our parents know their kids are our number one priority.
As a parent, that's heartwarming that I know that my children are safe here and secure, and there's nowhere that anyone can go. No bad guys.
Questions?
Just a quick comment. Mr. Knight, thank you so much for all you and your folks have done, and district officials as well. As a parent, I can echo that parent's comments. It's been great to see all the changes, and I get a kick out of walking into my son's school, and every time I do, they know who I am, but they make me show my driver's license.
That's right.
And they put me through the computer system, and you wouldn't have it any other way, would you?
That's right.
I wouldn't either.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for all you've done.
All right, thank
Keep
you.
up the good work.
Thank you.
I'd like to commend you also for the work that you've done, especially those schools in the rural areas that sometimes policemen can't get there as fast as they can get to other areas. I came on in July and went around and started visiting schools, and I saw some improvement need to be done, and I want to commend you for the work that y'all are doing on that.
Thank you.
And we certainly want safety, and safety is number one, next to education and teaching our children. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I just want to commend the fact that you have these partners with all of these police agencies and that close relationship, and that is something that it's invaluable for all of us.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments? Thank you, Mr. Knight.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Hayes, Superintendent Blackburn, and members of the board. I'm here tonight to give you the quarterly construction update of our school improvement bond projects. When I think of November, I think of being thankful, and the Facilities Department wants to express our thankfulness to all the amazing people who have helped and advised us on this great program. We also want to thank your leadership for bringing these needed facility improvements to our school district. The last time I talked to you, we were in the midst of summer crunch. All these projects we needed to get done were done, and the new spaces were open in time for school to start. Since then, we've been through floods, City of Hanahan property negotiations, and the loss of daylight. But don't fret, we are still moving forward, and I think you'll be happy to see the progress on the projects. This is the overall schedule that I've been showing you each brief. Next in elementary school, Stratford High School addition and Cross High School renovations have all been issued certificate of occupancy by the code officials and are occupied by students and staff. All three projects are still in progress of being closed out, where punch lists need to be finished, operation and maintenance manuals turned over, as-built drawings submitted, and training conducted on the new systems. We try to hold enough of the contractor's money to keep everyone incentivized to finish this work in a timely manner. We also have 4 projects currently under construction, as you can see with the green bars. They are Marrington Middle School addition, Goose Creek High School addition, Philip Simmons Elementary Middle School, and Philip Simmons High School. And the completion dates for these projects have not changed. For the remaining 2 new elementary school projects, we are still finalizing land contracts and due diligence studies. Since we've started with the design process for the Tanner Foster Creek area schools, we project the completion date to be May 2018 for that school. We have not yet started the Foxbank Elementary School design, so that is planned to open in August of 2018. With the Marrington Middle School project, 5 newly renovated classrooms were occupied when school started, and now the contractor is finishing up the new auditorium, theater room, dance room, and parent room. The picture shows you the exterior color scheme and the front entry, which is receiving windows and metalwork. The OSF overhead inspection was completed on October 20th, and the final inspection is tentatively scheduled for December 9th. Interior painting is also ongoing. Here's some pictures of the inside of the Marrington project, showing the stage and seating area, the lobby area, and the theater classroom. We fully expect to meet the January completion date for this project. If you can remember back, the groundbreaking for the Goose Creek High School occurred on June 4th, 2014. So when you do the math, the principals, staff, and students have been putting up with the hassles of constructions for nearly a year and a half now, and they've been patient, understanding, and easy to work with. Therefore, please give Mr. Husky a pat on the back when you see him next and tell him how thankful we are for hanging in there with the construction dirt, noise, accidental ringing of his fire alarm system, etc. As you will see later in the slides, we're currently moving students into one of the new buildings. And as everybody knows, moving is one of the most difficult tasks, and nobody really likes moving. This slide shows the overall plan with the completion dates for the different areas. Building A, the final inspection occurred on October 22nd, and we're completing the phased move-in based on furniture delivery. Building B, at the top of the page, the construction work is in full swing, and overhead utility work and finishes are going on inside the building. The exterior is pretty much done. This building is scheduled to be complete in February. Building C, the new cafeteria, was opened at the beginning of the school year, and it's been fun to watch the students enjoy their new space. Area D is where the old cafeteria and kitchen was, and now it's being transformed into a new band and chorus room. It is due to open in January. Area E is the existing building 700 and is planned to be demolished over the Christmas break. The items marked with F are buildings to be demolished once everyone has moved into the building B. This slide gives you an overall look at the whole campus and shows you where the new bus loop will be installed once the existing buildings 500, 600, and 700 are demolished. The new bus loop will be completed in the summer before school starts in August of 2016. This picture also shows how the construction work has consolidated the Goose Creek High School campus. Makes it easier to have safety checks and better security. As I mentioned earlier, we're moving students into Building A, and we have started with the second floor. On November 2nd, all the areas in blue conducted classes in the new building. The purple areas, which are offices and a book room, will be moved in by November 16th. The The apricot areas are computer labs that will open by November 30th. The furniture for the computer labs were delivered yesterday, and now technology will bring in the equipment and outfit the labs. Here's the slide with the first floor moving plan. For the pink and purple areas, the furniture will be here by November 16th, so those rooms will move next. The apricot areas are the special ed areas, and to reduce disruption to the student routines, it was best to move these special students in their classrooms after the Thanksgiving holidays. So when they come back from Thanksgiving, they'll have new spaces. This picture gives you an overall view of Building A, and where Mr. Husky's golf cart is parked is the front door, where everyone will enter the school through a secured vestibule. As you walk in the front door, you're welcome with the famous gator eyes that are located at the major intersection of the east-west and north-south corridor. Here's some various pictures of the new building. The main west corridor was designed to become an art gallery, where the display cases in the art rooms can be viewed from the corridor. Over time, one can imagine how this space can be filled with student artwork, and learning will take place in the corridors as well as the classrooms. The picture on the right-hand side shows you the secured entry lobby similar to all our other schools, and the bottom right gives you an idea of what a typical classroom looks like. The next milestone for Goose Creek High is to complete the work in Area D, which is the new spaces for band and chorus. The code official is scheduled for an overhead inspection on November 19th, with the final inspection is tentatively scheduled for December 17th. Now let's move on to the Philip Simmons Elementary School Middle School. This aerial photo was taken on October 16th after the floods. You can see how the retention ponds are filled with water on the right-hand side. Metal decking and roofing has started in areas A and B. Area D and E are the elementary side of the school, while G and B are the middle side. This slide gives you a breakdown of each area and what they contain. In comparison to the previous slide, you can see that the gym, Area F, has not started yet. If you remember, this was the area that had the wetlands, and we received approval to fill in the wetlands in August, so they have all been filled in and are ready for footings to begin. The contractor updated his schedule this month, and with all the rain, the completion date has slipped to August 5th. The contractor is supplementing his steel crews to try to regain some of the schedule, and we also have tweaked the sequencing so furniture and installation can occur concurrently with the finishes. The developer has also experienced some delays in bringing utilities and roads to the site, and they are trying to accommodate the schedule. They've asked us to help by writing letters to SCE&G for power and Charleston Water Service for water to ensure the utility companies hear the message from the end users as well as hearing it from the developer. We're preparing those letters now for Mr. Jackson's review. These photos show the installation of the roof framing for Area C, which will house the cafeteria, multi-purpose room, band, chorus, and music rooms. These rooms are designed to have a high volume of space. On Dr. Turner's last day, he was able to visit the job site, and this first picture shows him standing in the location of Dr. Whitley's new conference room. The other pictures show overhead piping going in, as well as metal framing, ductwork, and electric root work in Area B. Area B is part of the middle school. Now let's move on to the new Philip Simmons High School. This slide provides an aerial photo taken on October 15th. You can see the building pad taking shape as trucks bring in the fill. We are raising the building pad about 3 feet above existing elevation. In comparison to the aerial photo, this slide shows you the overall plan for the site, so you can better understand how the cleared areas will eventually be filled in with athletic fields, roads, parking lots, and buildings. This slide summarizes the activities from the last few months. The site work started on September 9th, the GMP was approved on October 13th, and during a neighborhood meeting at Daniel Island on November 3rd, a public presentation was given. Currently, the critical path is to bring in fill to establish the proper grades, proof roll the building pad, and then start installing the earthquake drains. For this school, earthquake drains are only needed for areas with high volume ceilings, which is just the gym and the auditorium. The work is going more slowly than anticipated because of the weather, but they are working every opportunity available. Berkeley County School Project Manager Gene Size met the adjuster for the building's risk insurance on site and showed him the elevation changes, which has resulted in a $265,166 savings in our building risk insurance. That was a pretty nice surprise this week that we received. Tanner Foster Creek Area Elementary School. We had a strategic planning meeting with the architect and contractor on October 30th, and this new drawing shows the current thought in laying out the school. Tonight, the City of Hanahan will be voting on the property contract at their City Council meeting. I'm sure you can understand that we wanted to wait on the signed contract before obligating more funds to finish up the due diligence in the design. If all goes well, we can start back up with the existing design work already started and expect to have this new school completed by May of 2018. Last but not least, we can talk about the Fox Bank Elementary School project. We are still waiting on the developer to update the expired wetland permit. Similar to the City of Hanahan property, we want to ensure the property is viable before we invest any further money in the due diligence efforts. Lately, the weather has not been conducive in helping to determine the amount of wetlands on a piece of property, so it's understandable that he's waiting. However, we plan to start design after the first of the year, so as long as there's no significant changes to the wetland permit, we do not foresee any schedule impacts at this time. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Myers, regarding the Tanner Elementary School, assuming we will get approval tonight, it's a big assumption, and I think it will happen. Is there any chance that we can make it by summer 2017 in light of some of the due diligence already being completed?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, no, thank you. Thank you.
I can only imagine what these people are going through in the amount of rain that we have had in the last few months.
Yes, it's been tough.
I just can't imagine working on any contract like that and trying to stay on time.
Unfortunately, we're not
amazed.
building arcs, you know.
Right. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Ms. Myers.
Thank you.
Then moving on to agenda item number 8, financial services. Mr. Thomas.
Ms. Blackburn and Mr. Hayes, Chairman and members of the board, we have before you tonight a best value bid for Central Avenue extension to Westview Primary. If you remember, back in August of 2014, we sold several tracts for development where that Walmart is on Central Avenue. And the agreement was for us to do some improvements to that road so we could turn the road maintenance over to the county. So we're doing some civil improvements to that length of Central Avenue, and then we'll, to get out of road maintenance, we're going to turn it over to the county. So we had done one bid before, and that was over $400,000. We revisited it recently, and we got a bid of $238,000. I think if we delay it anymore with the rain we've been talking about, it might be triple that. So I asked for your approval to award best value bid 458 to Gulfstream Construction for $238,905.29, I believe.
Mr. Thomas, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
You do, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to approve BVB 458 for Central Avenue Extension at Westview Primary to Gulfstream Construction Company Incorporated for a cost of $238,905.29 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 8.
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion?
I got a question.
Okay.
Is this a dirt road or paved road?
It's a paved road.
Paved road?
Yes, sir.
So you're doing improvement on the paved road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's my question.
Any other questions? All right, then we have a motion to approve BVB 458 for the school year 15-16 for Central Avenue Extension at Westview Primary to Gulfstream Construction Company Incorporated for a cost of $238,905.29 as presented by Mr. Thomas in the Finance Agenda Item Number 8, and it has been seconded. Do we have any further discussion? Then we'll call the vote. All of those in favor of this motion, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Then that motion carries 8-0, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also meant to mention the sale of the property. The money's in the escrow to pay for this as well, so I wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 9, instruction and accountability. Dr. O'Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Ms. Blackburn, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me while I look around the glare here. Yes, sorry. Okay, tonight I'm going to talk first about Aaron's Law. So the purpose of Aaron's Law is our first slide. This became a law in South Carolina in 2014, part of the health and safety education. Going back to some of what we talked about earlier, the safety of our students. This is educating our children on safety, about things that they can take with them, not just in school, but as they go home as well. So we want to assure that all students pre-K through high school receive prevention instruction in sexual abuse and assault awareness. The intent is to give students skills in knowing how to stay safe from sexual assault and how to report incidents of sexual assault. This was approved by the state board in August 12th of 2015. I'd like to recognize Phyllis Thornthwaite. She worked at the state level and helping putting this curriculum together. Of course, she's one of the folks that will help implement this at the district level. This slide kind of brings you some awareness of how important it is that we do this in our schools. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys have been sexually abused before their 18th birthday. So based on the number of students we have in Berkeley County, you see this could impact over 7,000 students who might be suffering silently in our school district. And I can tell you, having 3 daughters myself, I'm excited that we're going to have this available in our school district. Just so you know, it looks like there are only 7 states that are not moving forward to adopt this right now. So this is across the country. It's not just a South Carolina thing. So in Berkeley County, what we would like to do is offer this as part of our health instruction. The Health Advisory Committee that you approved a couple of board meetings ago have already gone through the elementary and high school curriculum guide. The middle school was developed a little bit later, so that's coming up next. So they will review that middle school curriculum guide within the next few weeks, and the curriculum itself would be aligned to our health and safety education units already being used. A lot of the content is very similar to what we're already doing. And just so you know, I've provided a copy of some of the curriculum guides on the table by the door, so you or anybody else in the audience, if you would like to look at those on your way out, you're welcome to do so. And we'll leave them here in the boardroom for the next month, so that you can look at that if you want. So as I said, these lessons have been written to integrate with our health and safety standards and part of our character education lessons. They're literacy-based to support our strategic plan, and they would be taught annually in our elementary, middle, and our high schools. And you can see there they're taught by our guidance counselors, our PE and health teachers in those levels. Okay. You have any questions?
Did the state send any money along with that to assist?
That's what you call an unfunded mandate.
Is this an unfunded mandate?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. O'Gorman, for taking this on. When I throw that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys out, people don't believe that statistic, but it is very real. And there are a lot of kids that are suffering. So thank you for taking the lead. Definitely something we have to address. With an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, you're so protective of them, but I know there are children who do not have adults to care for them. So thank you for including this.
Yes, ma'am. Again, I would like to acknowledge Ms. Thornthwaite and Ms. Weig, our Director of Guidance, for putting this together.
Mr. Chairman, I really think it's a good program. And I think we really need that. But I also think we need to have supportive parents to work with this program. Now, a lot of time what's happening is these educational programs are being placed on our teachers and our schools to do it. But I don't think it's going to work unless we can have some part of this program that we can educate parents and get the community involved in order to make it work. Is there a portion of this program that leads to parents or just students?
It's targeted for students.
We do have Darkness to Light is a training we offer to our community members, and all of our teachers and faculty in the school district have taken that training. And Darkness to Light is similar.
And I'd also point out that one of our district priorities is to engage our families across the board in our initiatives, and so this would certainly be at the top of that list.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chair, if you're ready, can we move on to Mastery Connect?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. All right, so I'm going to speak briefly, and I'm going to have one of our teachers come up and speak tonight. So quickly, I want to point out our curricular assessment vision. I hope this is something you feel like you've seen 1,000 times and that you will see 1,000 times again in the future. This is sort of our building block for what our assessments should look like in Berkeley County. This was actually done in order based on some feedback from forums. So our first bullet is an online teacher-friendly builder assessment. This goes from a couple of years back when we did some work with them. So you see that Mastery Connect provides that online assessment builder for teachers. It hosts our common benchmark assessments. It also provides us a way to evaluate our professional development, our adopted curriculum, allows us to do test validity and reliability, and also provides a reporting platform to help, really to help parents understand what standards their children have mastered. So what is it exactly? And I know that's kind of hard to read. So it allows us to assess any content that's got a standard. It hosts our curriculum maps. So the curriculum maps that we have done for all of our core subject areas, we can actually push out through Mastery Connect so that the curriculum is not something that just sits in a binder on a shelf somewhere. It hosts state standards, and this is from their site. The Common Core standards were there, but they also host our South Carolina standards, which are the ones that we're using now. It allows us to have integrated standards resources so they can access content anywhere online. They can share lesson plans with other teachers. If you're familiar with Pinterest, it's got sort of a Pinterest site to it, so as teachers share ideas and have good ideas, they can go and look at that. They can track students that are receiving response to intervention. Real-time mastery status. I don't want to go too much into that because we've got a special guest that's going to talk a little bit about that on the video, but in short, students can see right away how they've done on some assessments. So we can do the benchmark assessments, as I've said, and then they've got student reports, and then it allows that teacher to go back and do targeted instruction and progress monitor for students that might be working below grade level. So at this point, I'm going to ask Ms. Darby from J.K. Gordine to come up. She's going to talk to you. Well, the first thing we're going to do is show a video from her classroom, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about how she uses it.
Good evening, Chairman Hayes, Superintendent Blackburn, and members of the board. So tonight I want to show you all what Mastery Connect looks like in my class, and it's called Mastering Mastery Connect, and I hope that you all enjoy it.
All right, you guys are going to click on multiplication with arrays. It's the first assessment.
could do it on a computer and you get your scores right away. You get mastery, near mastery, or remediation. When I get mastery, I think that I'm on target. When I get near mastery, it means I need to study. And when I get remediation, it means I need to check my answers and get Ms. Darby to help me.
Mastery Connect has allowed me to gain instant access to my students' data. From there, I can look at each child's performance. I can look at it by individual student, or I can look at it by the whole class. I can also look at each item through item analysis and tell which students are struggling with which type of standard or skill, and I'm able to address that standard or skill in my classroom instruction. I like it because it helps me drive instruction and it improves my small group as well. So as you can see, the majority of my students have met the level of mastery. I have 3 students in remediation. So with those 3 students, I can look and see which questions they missed, and I'll know what skills I need to target with them in small group or individualized instruction. The near mastery children, I can work on some skills to help, work on some ways to help them build their skills to get to the level of mastery. So the goal is for each child to bump up 1 level from where they are. But the overall goal is to get them all to master. From the report, I can look at what each child scored based on their levels. I can look at the percentages for the whole class. I can also go and look at an item analysis to see which questions the students did not master. So that'll tell me which questions I need to go back and maybe look at based on that standard. I can also click here and see how many kids missed that question. So here you see that 3 students missed that question, or question 1 for that particular standard.
Have you mastered Mastery Connect? Come see us at JKE.
They got it.
Okay, so I want to give you all a brief run through of Mastery Connect. So here is what you would see if you logged in. Here is where you would find, just like a Facebook page, you would see teachers from not only Berkeley County School District, but districts in other states and in South Carolina. From here, I can look and just find assessments based on teachers that I'm following. And that's general information here about who's following me and who I'm following. So on the side, you can see that there are trackers for each subject, and they're all aligned to the standard. So each tracker is placed in there. And what I really like is that this year, all of the standards have been aligned by the units. So if I clicked on 3rd grade science, all of the standards for Unit 1 are all placed together. And it shows you the % of standards that have been assessed. Another thing is the assessments, which is what I really like about it, because the kids don't have to use traditional paper and pencil. I do have a few students who are still used to paper and pencil, but they're becoming more accustomed to using Mastery Connect. So here I could go by subject and click on the subject and create the assessment. I could look at teachers in my district and the assessments they've created, or teachers at my school. Then what I like here is that I can go to highest rated or peer reviewed, and the ones that are highest rated are pretty much good assessments that can be used for your classroom. One neat thing I learned last week is that you can look at the assessments, give the students the assessments, and you can export them into your grade book, which is really awesome for teachers. I know that teachers are often stressed and have a lot going on, so I feel that this is a great, great tool to use. Overall, that's a general overview. Here, one more thing, the pins. It's like Pinterest. In a sense, you can go and add pins where parents can go and look at the information that you're doing in the classroom and get some really cool YouTube videos to help them work at home. So overall, I'd just like to say that I think that Berkeley County did an awesome job of adding Mastery Connect, because it really takes the stress off teachers. It's going to drive instruction. I think it's something new and innovative for teachers to use. And although I may be expert at Mastery Connect or trying to become an expert at Mastery Connect, it will take time for teachers to learn to use Mastery Connect with any new thing, because we have veteran teachers, we have rookie teachers, but overall it's going to take some time. But I think that we're moving forward with this program, and I'm excited to learn more about it as we go along. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to bring up my student, Ms. Jada Jenkins, that you saw in the video. You could come forward. She did an awesome job. Thank you.
Very good.
I also want to thank J.K. Gordine for allowing us to spend some of your time in your classroom and allowing us to film. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions at this time?
With Mastery Connect, is that just elementary or is it all grade levels?
K-12.
Okay.
I think this addresses one of the recommendations we got from the advanced ed too, does it not?
Right. This was part of one of the things that tied our curriculum, common curriculum, common assessments, PLCs. This really ties the PLCs and the common curriculum together. This is the common assessment piece where if we're giving an English 1 test at Cross High School, they can share that with an English 1 teacher at Hanahan High School, for example.
Well, it's also using our devices, and if we can get this one-to-one down the road, that was one of the things they recommended.
That's true as well. And just to clarify, you can do all the assessments on a device or electronically, but the teacher can also print the test and they can do a hard copy if they prefer to do that.
Very good.
Just, Mr. Chairman, if I could, I have to compliment one of my favorite people at J.K. Gordine Elementary. That's Miss Lucretia Darby. Miss Darby, you sure have made the Citadel look very good tonight.
Didn't know that.
And I know the folks at D.P. Cooper and C.E. Murray are proud as well. Make sure you give yourself some hours towards your internship for the work that you put into this presentation. Would you agree with me, Ms. Weig and Mrs. Rose? We've got 2 other interns out there. Miss Darby, I'm going to tell everybody how good you did tonight. Well, and Jada, well done. Thank you. That's it.
You made us proud.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, real quick, this is a platform. Am I understanding this correct?
Correct.
That Mastery Connect is a platform. Is the benchmark testing a part of this platform? Is it delivered via this platform?
It is delivered through it, yes. We push it out, and that's the great thing about it is whether it's a teacher-made test or a benchmark or something that we make at the district level, we can push them all out through the same platform.
I've received some concerns from some teachers. Dr. O'Gorman, as you know, in my life, I am surrounded by educators. Wherever I am, whether I'm at work,
I know how you
home,
feel, yeah.
or here,
Yes, sir.
I am surrounded by educators. Have we had some problems with technology with that benchmark testing portion? And it's
Not the benchmark for
Okay.
Mastery Connect. You might be thinking of another system called PathDriver.
That may have been the name that they used.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
How long are the tests taking for reading and math?
For the benchmarks?
Yes.
There's a time limit of 90 minutes.
90 minutes?
Yeah, that's a max. They shouldn't take but about 60 minutes.
Okay.
Last year we tried to mirror the Aspire. Right now we don't know what our state assessment is, so we try to design the benchmarks to align to what our state assessment is going to be, but since we don't know what our state assessment is.
All right, thank you. I look forward to learning more from both you and Ms. Darby. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dr. O'Gorman. All right, at this time, moving on to agenda item number 10. Looking forward to hearing our first superintendent's report from Ms. Brenda Blackburn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gosh, I've been listening and learning all evening. That's kind of my mantra for being here, and had an opportunity to participate in the advanced ed visit and listened and learned a great deal. And then tonight, great presentations. And the thing about them is they're very helpful to me because I'm doing the community forums. And some of the very things that were talked about tonight are the very same issues that are coming up in the community forums. So the more I hear from our resident experts, the better able I am to address those questions. So thank you for the opportunity to continue to listen and learn from this great group. My comments tonight are really very brief. Weather-related calendar adjustments. As you know, before Dr. Turner left, he identified 2 days for makeup that were already in the calendar. And tonight, I'm going to recommend that we go ahead and notify our community that we should use the 3rd day in the calendar, which is March the 14th, 2016, as the 3rd makeup day. And that way, families who may have plans or that kind of thing, and employees as well, can go ahead and make that adjustment. So we're ready to make that a public notice. Second one, I wanted to comment again on the advanced ed visitation and commend all those who were involved. You know, while they were here, they talked to 429 stakeholders, and they talked to parents, they talked to teachers, they talked to board members, students, talked to me, you know, found out what I had learned already. So they were just everywhere, and our schools did a wonderful, wonderful job of painting a picture about what we really do in Berkeley County, as did our co-chairs and chairs of the standard committees. And special thank you to Jerome, who pretty much coordinated making sure everything happened. And I got to see a real great demonstration of flexibility as he managed to manipulate and move parts as the schedule changed moment to moment. And so you have much to be proud of with the work that was done to prepare for the visitation. And then the exit report was largely very, very positive, and I think set the stage for helping us to craft a plan to move Berkeley County into the next 6 years and further. So my pleasure to have been able to listen and learn from that presentation and the opportunity, entire visit as well. Commendations for our high school postseason football. We did well. Several of our high school football teams have distinguished themselves this year by earning 4 regional championships. We have Goose Creek, Region 7, 4A, who will play next weekend. We've got Hanahan, Region 8, 3A champion, who will play Brooklyn Case at 7:30 on their home field this Friday night. We have Timberland, who will be playing Region 7 2A championship versus Battery Creek, again, 7:30 at home. And Cross High School will be Region 6 1A, playing again at 7:30 on Friday night against Estill. Is that right? That's right. Ah, good. I'm working on it. In addition, Cane Bay also qualified for playoffs, and they will also play, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So our athletic programs are doing well, as our academic programs, which is what we like to do, to see it all work out well to the benefit of students and our communities. And that is my report for tonight.
Thank you. Any comments?
It's great to have Superintendent Blackburn here. Mr. Chairman, my colleague to my left, to the audience's right, Mr. McQuillan, has just told me he's received an announcement from Hanahan City Council. Would you allow him to make the announcement and share that information
Most
with Superintendent
definitely.
Blackburn? Mr. McQuillan?
Pleased to announce that Hanahan City Council voted unanimously to approve the new school and the contract.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be building that school. Ms. Myers, so
Yes, did Ms. Myers hear that? 2017.
No pressure.
nice try. Any other comments? Hey, moving on to agenda item number 11, executive session, where we will look at 3 student attendance appeals. We'll have a discussion of pending employment matters, including an administrative appointment, and receive some legal advice, litigation that is pending.
Mr. Chair, I move that we move into executive session to hear 3 student attendance appeals, to discuss pending employment matters, including an administrative appointment, and to receive legal advice on litigation that is ongoing.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to go into executive session to discuss the 3 items that we have there. Is there any discussion? It's been seconded, so therefore, all of those in favor of moving into executive session, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Then we stand in executive session. Thank you.
Good.